Center it so it's nice and smooth. So what you got to do is you get some lubrication, okay, and you begin to force upward and downward. Well, there's an unusual kind of siren going on there. And you come up like so, bring her up. Nice and easy, like so. And that bottom needs to center out as well. There she goes. Now we begin to screw it back down in, gentle and easy. What we're doing is we're aligning all the little fits and bits inside the clay to get her all going in the same direction. And they kind of snap together like a pair of locked hands, you know what I'm saying? Now once you've got it locked in, I gotta go in with the hip. This is a pretty large ball. We're gonna go in, we'll round it out like so. Okay. Now we're gonna open that puppy up. See how nice and smooth she is? No more humping and bumping about. That's what you want. Now what you do is you're gonna start opening it up, and you start with the belly button. Little tiny belly button, just like this. You're gonna have moisture to it. And what that does is keeps you from breaking your fingers. Now you're gonna stop about this far from the bottom. Otherwise you end up with a big clay donut, and that's not what you want to have. Then after you get to the bottom, you begin to select how big you want your bottom. Aye. It was only that easy, eh? I asked God for a small bowl and I got a kettle. Now believe it or not, selecting the size of your bottom determines how big your piece is going to be. If you put a big bottom, it's going to be short and round. A narrow bottom is going to be tall and thin. Remember, we're talking about pots here. Now, never, ever, ever trust a narrow, tall, thin bottom. That's a matter of wisdom, it's true. Because they'll end up spilling your drink and, well, you're just broken sober. No, you know, it's a nice, wide, stable bottom, and it'll hold a lot more volume. And you'll find a lot of my cups are built that way. Now, the next thing you do is you go in and you pull your walls up. Now, the secret to pulling the walls up is a simple one. You start and you try to keep it even as you go, even as you go. You're going to pull it straight up, and it's also going to hopefully get rid of any extra thickness. Now, I just caught it with my nail. That's all it took to knock her a wee bit out of line. I love the clapping in the background. It makes me feel like a star. Now we come up a little more. Leave it a little more. I liked it better when he blew that horn without his hands. And we coming up, coming up, coming up, coming up. Awesome, easy, easy, easy. And begin to build her out. Now you may be wondering why I'm riding the Lightning instead of doing all the kicking. Well, that's because if I did all the kicking all the time, this thigh would be this big, that would be that big, and I'd walk around in small circles. It's not good. You may also say, well, wait a minute, they didn't have those back then. Oh, yes, they did. How do you think they ground wheat? You know how they ground wheat? Two large stones turning, and what drove the wheel? Water. What do you think those millers did in between seasons? They did is they would hook that wheel up to water. That's where clay is as well. So most potters were also millers. Bring that up a little bit more, a little bit more, a little bit more, a little bit more. Coming up, coming up. Go down nice and deep. I'm going to grab that last little hump. And what I'm doing, boyo, as you were interested in learning, is my fingers are kind of like an S, the letter S. And what's happened is, I'm causing a wave to come up the sides of the vessel, kind of like the waves of an ocean, right? And I'm taking the thickness from the bottom and squeezing it up to the top. Well, this is going to be a nice piece. She's really obeying good. But you see that top is starting to give me a little wibble wobble going on. I don't like that, do you? Nah, I don't like that. So we got to trim it. You see what we do? We got to trim that out. So what you got to do is you got to line up that needle, and we're going to take that little excess off like this, huh? Yeah. And then after we trim that out a little bit more, I'm going to start giving it shape. Now, I'll be honest with you, I do a lot of traditional shapes through the centuries. But with my Celtic heritage more than my English heritage or my Sicilian heritage, I like the Celtics. The English like a nice straight-topped vessel like this. And they use it, yeah, they still use it today for their pints and all. I'm not so fond of a straight line like this. That's called a cylinder line. The cups themselves can break easy. It's kind of like the roundness of an egg. You ever put two eggs, put an egg here, an egg tip here, and you go like this, trying to crack an egg that way? You can't do it because of the curve. So I'm going to put a curve in this, make my pottery last a little bit longer. And to do that, I need a rib. Now you see this edge of a rib? That curve? See the curve? What we used to use. Deer rib, cow rib, a sheep rib, occasional Englishman. We had laying around the castle at the time. Hey, it's true. Now what we're going to do is we're going to bring that rib in. It's going to act like my thumb, and I'm going to start bringing out a shape. And I think I'm going to do an Irish butler. They've been around for centuries. They started around, I would say, 6th, 7th century, and they moved all the way out to probably, let's say, 17th, 18th, somewhere in that region. And I like their shapes. They're primal. They're very, very feminine. You see their shapes that are males and there are females. And this happens to be a very female shape, that rounded shape. So, you know, if I would only...
Metal?
Here it is.